way back 20 years ago when I started teaching, our efforts down here were centered around our students coming down to over-the-Rhine to do design-build projects and certainly to engage with the community, but in a way that put everybody back in the vans and back up to Oxford at the end of the day. 10 years ago, the center here was established, and that allowed us to have a home base and certainly to bring other kinds of programming into this facility, so it really changed what we did.
So I just want to say thanks to the deep relationships that have been built in the community because of the work of Miami and the community members here in Over-the-Rhine. Actually, it's the teacher education at Miami, and most traditional teacher education programs, I believe, do a pretty good job of preparing our students to go and teach in schools. What I don't think that we do really well across the country is prepare our students something similar, but there are just 2 programs that I'm aware of, ours and one other, in the country in which students become residents of the community as they're learning to become a teacher in that community. And there is no way, as a person who grew up in another oppressed neighborhood in Cincinnati, Lower Price Hill, having people come into our neighborhood and do things for us and do things to us, there's no way that I would have even felt comfortable and been able to sleep at night developing this kind of program if it weren't for the fact that there was a deep history of relationships that were built out of a mutual trust and mutual respect. And so without that, Tom, there is no way that we could have our program and see the students go through this program and have that kind of transformation. And so I want to thank you, and I also want to thank our Dean, Kareem Payton, who could not be here tonight, and also our Department Chair, Iris Johnson, who is back here, and Teacher Ed, who's been supporting us, as well as Kevin Bush, the Director of Partnerships, Associate Dean for Partnerships in the School of Ed. So thank you. This was a dream I had when I was a doctoral student, and if it weren't for meeting you, it wouldn't happen.
Physical space does matter, and we want to have an incubator for change. And in fact, as we think through that, we can sort of look at this location where we're physically standing as a model, because Tammy mentioned something like this, but being in Over-the-Rhine, for very good reason, there is a tendency to suspect whoever comes in that's new, right, for good reason. And as I've seen, just the few years I've been here, many dozens of different students pour through this building. I've never heard one negative comment come from anybody in the neighborhood. Ever. It is mixed, right? There is empathy. This is an empathetic location. And I think that folks in this neighborhood really do feel that this belongs to the neighborhood. This place for students coming out of a system that tells them that you're supposed to blame the victim, this flips it all on its head. And that is powerful, because those students go back, they talk to their parents, they talk to their friends, and it begins to change attitudes. And now we have more people to fight with us. So this is a place that births fighters. We are very grateful for it.
Start by saying you guys are a good neighbor, the kind of neighbor that you can borrow a cup of sugar from and watch each other's house when you're on vacation. And adds to the neighborhood. Everybody wants to have a good neighbor, and you guys are certainly that. Secondly, you're a good customer.
Yeah.
That's very important for us. You know, you're one of our major customers. We're catered for you today. Also, and that means a lot to us because it's the way we make our money, but it's also the way we do our work. We are a judge training program. We work by having people actually work, and that means catering and serving pizza. So you're also a good customer because so many of the students go across the street and order lemonade, especially John Blake. He does order a lot of lemonade, which is a great thing. We appreciate that. And the other way that you're a good customer, I would say, is that a lot of our customers, whether in our catering or our pizza parlor, are nonprofit organizations and social service organizations. And I think a good component of those people were Miami students, or are Miami students, or have been Miami students, or Miami faculty over the years. They pop up all over the place, like Andy. And our musician, Mike Borowski, who's done playing over there. These Miami students are just about everywhere. It's almost scary. So you're customers that way. And then finally, you partnered with us for the years in actually building up this wonderful place that we call Renaissance Vine, which was restocked plumbing storage facility before you guys and UC helped us to build a beautiful community place that can be a restaurant and a training place, and that can be a crossroads in the community where everybody feels comfortable. And that's really important for us, to be both a workplace but also a community space. As did
I think one thing that Miami has invested in here that's really important is educating the whole person and valuing the education of a whole person and the complexity that comes with that. And I think that that's not something that's necessarily happening throughout our whole educational system at this point in time. And I think that's really important. Service learning and community engagement are buzzwords that are being used widely. And the products of that vary widely. And the outcomes for communities are not always wonderful. And I would say that this program is an example of real intentionality with communities and doing that chart of here's what the students get, here's what the university gets, here's what the community gets, and making sure it's even, right, and that there's that outcome. A city council member once called this intersection the center of the universe and said that this part of Vine Street was the most important place in the universe. And so I'm really proud and happy that a place like Miami University in the Center for Community Change is doing engagement like this in a place that is the center of the universe across from Venice on Vine. And I just appreciate that institutional support for this community that has been fighting for a really long time just to get basic rights. So thanks so much.
Sometimes I think universities are criticized for being theoretical and academic and ivory tower, but obviously, in this case, that's not the reality. There are sometimes theoretical conversations that occur in this space, but there's lots of concrete benefits and real life experiences going on here.
I'm really sorry that Professor Alfred Joseph cannot be here tonight because of his illness, but I would call your attention to that timeline over there under the window, and know that it has become a very important part of documenting this community, even though the students who did that were born way down at the end of the line. But it's important that the social work students who've been here have engaged with our agencies, but also have learned from Cassandra what the realities are for people who deal with the problems daily in this community. That chart that timeline tells the story of many of the struggles that have gone on here, and to watch the students wrap their heads around some of those things that seem so clear, but were really hard to explain, is wonderful. So before you leave, I suggest you see that.
I hadn't planned to say anything at all, but I'm sort of moved to say this. The event that I came to was one that I didn't participate in. I was strictly an observer, but Tom had invited representatives of virtually every organization in or over the Rhine, every movement, every office, to come together and to discuss their common goals or their not so common goals with each other. And it was the first time that those people had all been together in the same room, ever. And that was very striking to me, because the conversation that ensued at that point was at times stormy, but with these two people who were there as kind of the facilitators.
This book, which was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s last book, seems an appropriate title. Where do we go from here? Chaos or community? And it's just been reissued, and I just thought it'd be a nice thing to give out to our community partners. And we spent some time this afternoon writing it. You want to read it?
You'll do that one.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, I ran into a fellow alumni from Miami on the street, and at the time we were looking to expand our scope. We could do apartment projects and things of that nature, get it done in a couple semesters, maybe more. But we were seeing the need for larger scale projects, and that led to a relationship with CR Architecture and Design. We wanted to acknowledge for the last 3 years it's just been a great partnership for us, It's perfect for our students because they get real-time expertise. It's perfect for the community because they get a scale of project attention that normally doesn't come. And it's great for me because I get back in an office for a little while and I can wear pants that don't have paint on them and such. So with this, to all the good people at CR, we hope this fits in your library. And I'd like to recognize Dave Aarons at Peasley Neighborhood Center. He said if ever there's an organization that we admire and emulate, it's Peasley because they're into arts education, community outreach, child care, which is certainly things that we're all into here at various levels. So thanks for being a community partner. They've been a client. We've had students work there. Great projects come from there and a real ally. He's there.
And the wonderful people at Venice on Vine. Come on out here.
Working at the Coalition for the Homeless, as Josh talked about, and that's been a great way to learn more about issues of homelessness, and we're really grateful that we can be advocates for the advocates. It's been a pretty wonderful part.
This is Cassandra and the good people at the Contact Center. Thank you for shepherding our students over the years. We have benefited enormously, and we really like being here. I think this is to the good people at Rotenberg. So, is anybody from Rotenberg here? Tammy, you want to come up here on their behalf?
I'll make sure that Alicia gets it.
Okay. Thank you for opening your doors to our students to enrich their experiences as developing teachers. We look forward to Rotenberg's redevelopment in their new building and our continuing relationship with you. There's a couple of relationships that are actually on campus. Tammy, your Urban Teacher Cohort program has enriched our residency program and has broadened our connection to the community in so many ways. We thank you for your tireless energy and the challenges to do much more than we do.
I think she gets out of it 10 times what the students do. And she just, and I know the students get a lot out of it because they give her written responses about it. And it's just, it's been a really powerful thing for her to be part of this.
The students may not know this, but when you're in those reflections and so forth, she is incredibly guarded about those reflections and so forth. She doesn't tell me jack. And I'm the director of the program, but she does not let out what's going on. It's a safe space that developed with those students and her, and when it works, it works really well and goes really deep. So I don't have anything.
And we have a citation on behalf of the Dean and the School of Fine Arts to the Center for Community Engagement. That Miami University School of Fine Arts expresses its appreciation to Thomas Dutton, the founder and director of the Center for Community Engagement, John Blake, coordinator of community projects, the Department of Architecture and Interior Design, who supports and sustains the work of the center, and most important, the community of people, students, teachers, and residents who have made the Center for Community Engagement an agent of change and transformation in the lives of all who participate in this community. And we thank you and we congratulate you.
In addition to the proclamation, the School of Fine Arts wants to add our appreciation to the challenge that all of you undertook in keeping a place of learning, building, sharing, and discovery. For most people, a sense of place is very important. Place influences us in the decisions we make, big and small, the way we move through our lives, who we connect with, who we become. The programs that have developed at the Center for Community Engagement in over-the-rhine permit students and faculty to engage in developing their sense of place in a different kind of space. I've been amazed at the transformative power of this place. There have been students who told me that they began the program thinking, oh, they do a semester and then they go back and they return to campus and life would go on. Those students also found that they didn't want to return to that kind of place. They wanted a community a community that they found and built with others as part of this movement. They thank you for all of us in our various communities find our place. Are we living on the surface? Over the Rhine pulled us apart, turned us inside out, let us see ourselves, be ourselves in ways we never could before. Before the walls came down in layers and our perceptions, ignorant stereotypes, obliviousness were crumpled on the floor. Peel it, tear it, rip it, throw it, wear it, kick it. We are layered people. We are layered communities. We are layered architecture. Are we living on the surface?